Hi, sir. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I really
Nice
appreciate
to
it.
meet you, Nick. Thank you for having me.
What appealed to you about working with director Pierre Tsigaridis? For
Just say
pronoun
Pierre and Max. Pierre and Max. Everybody's okay with
Yes. What
that.
what attracted you to working with?
I had done a movie with Rebekah Kennedy that I wrote and produced and called Crust, and she was there, and we became really good friends. We ended up becoming, business partners with our spouses, and we did all this stuff. But in the meantime, we were getting to know each other's work and introducing us to people we had done. And so I had seen Two Witches. And when I met the guys and figured out how they did it, which I think is just amazing, is they spend people flip this the wrong way. They spend not all the budget on the shooting, but on the marketing, the special effects, the music. You know what I mean? They do a lot in post, and most independents just die on the vine because they get through shooting and then they don't know how to get it over the finish line. And so I loved this whole idea, and I love what they did with Two Witches so economically with time and the way they shot everything. And so when I met them, they had said, "Oh, maybe there's something in Two Witches too for you, blah blah blah." And I said, "Oh, that'd be so great." And then they really realized they needed this character in Traumatica, and so they called me up and said, "Would you do it?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I've been wanting, I want to work with you guys." Came down there, just those two, had 2 hours of shooting, and my it's not a hard scene for me to do. I'm basically saying, don't drink the bleach. That's all I'm trying to say. Did you get to see the movie?
I did. I love the fact that like you get to play the guy in the chair, like
Right.
the one who is like
The
offering the
reasonable
advice,
guy.
the
Yeah.
reasonable one,
Yeah.
um, who gives us the like you're the one who gives the backstory, like you're the
Right.
one who
I give
lays
the
all of this out.
exposition, right? But that's what I love when exposition is just exposition. We are all bored, but obviously mine has heat on it because I'm going, whoa, 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 whoa! It's in your house. I know it's near you. Like, do not do this while giving the exposition, which is great, you know. So yeah, I loved it, and then um, I left after a couple hours, and they don't shoot like just a schedule and then they shoot it out. They shoot when they can and grab the actors they want. And it was so funny because Rebecca and I were working on our projects together, and the Traumatica stuff started heating up, and I go, that is so good for you, Rebecca. I'm so excited. She goes, "You're in it, remember?" And I go, "Oh, that's right." I forgot because they work so economically and quickly. I forgot I was even in it.
You're working together on something while also working together on something.
Yes, exactly. Like I keep forgetting that I'm in it.
So you've done like such a slew of films and get to like be like these like sort of like linchpin characters in
Sure.
them. Uh like what's the appeal of getting to be like that guy in a movie?
Um, I think like I never really realized the power of it until social media because uh when I got Roach, in People Under the Stairs, that was my first movie. And he's the red herring that you think is a scary escape people under one of the scary people under the stairs. You don't know what he is. You find out he's a good guy, and then he becomes a martyr, and I'm 10 minutes on screen. So when social media came out, all like I had tons of requests from people. And my friend in New York is a jazz drummer, Vincent Valega, goes, these are your fans. So I went da, 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 and accepted all of them. And he would all of a sudden it was Roach, Roach, da, da, da. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was only on screen for 10 minutes. But he's a pivotal, interesting character because he's not a person under the stairs. He's in the walls, and he enjoys messing with the people in the house, and he's there to protect the little girl. So we like him, you know and then we lose him, you know what I mean? So he's like a heroic martyr or whatever. And that's when I realized, wow, I'm not on screen that much, but people remember that character. There's so many like that, and any, that thing you do. And I mean, I was part of an ensemble on Twister, but different kind of things that pop in, like in The Cop and Idle Hands and stuff. You get to come in there and pump the scene with a little bit of energy. I mean, we all remember Bronson Pinchot from 48 Hours, Surge, you know what I mean? It's just amazing. And it's fun, but do I wish I had that stuff with more leads? Sure. But that's why I'm doing my own stuff now and putting myself in my own leads, So but I didn't realize how much these characters had an impact, like I said. And then when I got on TikTok, the same thing, like people saying, "Oh my God, it's this guy," from I Never Forget You from, and I was like, wow, there's these. I have always been attracted to those kind of parts, and those are the ones I get, cast in. You know.
And what's been kind of great is I've noticed like over the last like 5 to 10 years, as like a lot of like these sort of like classic cult movies are getting like their really nice restorations and Blu-ray
Yes.
and 4K releases,
Mhm.
like it introduces these movies, like they reemerge, like
Right.
Tammy and the T-Rex, for
Yes.
instance. Like
100%.
it's a movie that went from being like, oh, it's cheesy and fun, and then we get to see like this, the unrated cut, and people are
Yeah.
like, this is such a good movie,
Yes.
and we get to see you get really torn up in that one.
Amazing special effects as I drop guts that are probably big for a rhinoceros and drop it on the ground while having no gap in my body and just having a black t-shirt underneath. But that's what makes it like it's like I get to do a sleepaway camp moment. You know what I mean? It's great, But their effects were better, But I love being a part of a fun, cheesy movie like that. And it was Paul Walker's one of his early works and Denise Richards' first movie, and and I didn't know that they didn't have the gore in the original. I didn't ever watch it. I never saw it. And I think I sped through my scenes a couple times with the rough cut, and I didn't know they took out all the gore. So when they said, "Hey, we're gonna," look, Shout Factory, they do great stuff, and whenever they said they're going to release it, now 20 years later, so many people are reaching out to me again on social media, going, "Oh, I love that movie. I love Tammy and the T Rex," So it's really fun.
Now that you're making your own films, like what is your time on like both independent and like big budget pictures, like what have you learned from that and applied to
I
like making
think
your own
that,
movies?
look, I think the 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 last couple years with having our Academy Award winners be independent film again, to get it back to, um, and the studios don't really know how to drop something. When I was coming in the '90s, and it was like, we're gonna do TV shows that are from the '70s and turn them into films. Okay, but then when that trend went away, it went away. But now that the corporations have taken over, and they're like, well, Marvel stuff's working, we got to milk that. No, we used to ride waves and let them go, and when it was time to let them go, they would. And now I think they're slowly getting out of touch with people, even though they're excited to see another version of, Hunger Games or whatever. They're still hungry for fresh content, and thank God for someone like Ryan Coogler, who goes, I gave you Wakanda, I gave you Creed. Now I'm gonna do and people loved it because it's like, oh my God, fresh, interesting new stories, that are rich and deep and well done. And I think there's just a passionate hunger, and I feel like I'm in the right place at the right time for new ideas. Our movie that Rebekah and I just did is basically, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre that we flipped, and it's a family of women. So Rebekah is a hero saving her brother from a crazy family of women with a crazy mother and three mute daughters that torture men. And so you flip it. And so when we said we're going to flip it, it was, it's not in the desert, it's on a farm. It's not hot, it's cold. You can see everybody's breath. You can't, we have a crazy dinner table scene, but it's not crazy. It's them being very normal. Like, I just wanted to flip the entire trope. And you can't explore that in a studio as much, So I think the freshest, funnest ideas are coming from independent. Look, all the icons came from independent. Freddie, now Art the Clown, you know what I mean? Like these are all independent. They all come from independent film. Texas Chainsaw, independent. Horror really does much because studios don't know how to do it as well. And obviously I'm wrong. There's tons of movies that have done very well. But I mean, right now, the fresh voices, it's there. You go to a horror convention, and for years I would just see the same things. The Exorcist, the girl, and now I see Art the Clown, and I go, see, that's because these guys didn't sell out. They were told, they were like, hey, the studio will buy it, and he goes, no, 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 I'm good. And now they can create their own stuff, and that's what I'm trying to do is create iconic women horror characters. It's three daughters. It's not a Freddy. It's three different. One is 6'5" with the sickle. One is bald head in Pinhead. She looks with and then the other one is Haname Lee, who's like kind of maybe out of a Rob Zombie movie. And you have three of them, and they only have like the nun, and she doesn't do much. So why not have crazy, wild, scary women characters? And I just think that's what we're doing now is doing the things that are interesting and fun. And I like what big studio stuff is doing, but I think there's a fresh voice that now people are looking for and are hungry for.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait for people to see Traumatica. I want to thank you
Yes.
so much, Sean Whalen, for speaking with me and for letting me meet your cat. What is your cat's name?
That is Jasper.
Well, thank you for letting me meet Jasper. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.